So if you want to succeed into 2024, here's the things that you need to do on TikTok. The first thing is disproportionately work on the first 10 seconds of your video. This means your hook, your idea, your attention statement, your grand payoff. And I'll get into some of that later. But you need to focus on this first 10 seconds of your video because it's the part that people will see the most. If you are disproportionately putting way more work to the back end of your video or throughout your whole video and only 5% of people are seeing it, you are wasting time. Especially if you're not already TikTok famous or you have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers already, where you understand your content enough. If you're just starting out, you want to focus on that first 10 seconds first, see what works, and then continue to build that throughout your whole video. And that leads me to number 2, plan your hooks. You can ask a question, you can use a bold statement, but you need to plan out your hook. And the thing with the hook, the most important part of it is to stop the scroll. That is the only job of your hook, is to get somebody curious about what you're talking about. Now, number 3 is building a tension statement. Now, what is a tension statement? A tension statement is something that raises the stakes, that creates competition inside of your video, something that makes the viewer want to see what's going to happen, open curiosity gaps, and want them to watch until the end. Now, number 4, besides your hook and your tension statement, you want to work on your grand payoff. Now, with your grand payoff, it's as easy as telling them what they're going to get at the end of the video and building up the tension of why they should stay until the end. So if you want to get better at your first 10 seconds of your video with hooks, tension, and your grand payoff, I just recorded a masterclass down in the description and or in my Stan store where you guys can go ahead and check that out. It's less than 30 minutes. You guys will understand exactly how to use this framework in the first 10 seconds of your videos. All right, now let's get to number 5, posting consistently. Posting consistently is extremely important for you building up your account. One, because as a creator, you get consistent with the actual workflow of being a creator. It also is good for your audience because they know when to expect content, whether it's daily, whether it's several times a day, whether it's once a day, whether it's a couple times a week, depending on the balance of quality and quantity in which you want to work out of. Now, the next thing is to be consistent about the niche that you're posting about. I know a lot of people get all bent out of shape and say you're the niche and all of that. However, that is just something that they want to tell you and that you want to hear, because ultimately that doesn't work on TikTok unless you're an amazing, enthusiastic creator, and 98% of people do not have the chops to be able to get people to actually care about the day-to-day of your life and are likely not skilled enough with the human psychology and those tactics that it takes in order to be this kind of creator. Now, especially if you want to grow more in 2024, I like to use the Starbucks analogy. What happens if you went to Starbucks expecting a coffee, but they offered you a burger, pizza, and tacos along with coffee? You would all of a sudden think that something is wrong, or that they're maybe not that good at making pizza or tacos or something like that, right? And being consistent with your niche, what your audience expects from you is going to make them come back again and again, just like a Starbucks. But if you try to overwhelm them with all of these other things that they may or may not care about, they're going to go to somebody else in order to scratch that itch. So if Starbucks was serving all those things and you saw something else like a Dunn Brothers that's just serving coffee, when you want coffee specifically, you're probably going to go to Dunn Brothers because that's all that they do. Right? So I want you guys to take that analogy and run with it here on TikTok. Be that Starbucks of your niche, right? Be that trustworthy, entertaining, inspiring account that somebody can come to over and over again and get exactly what the viewer expects. Now, thing number 7 you can focus on that goes along with your niche is TikTok search engine optimization. If you don't know what TikTok search engine optimization is, it's the way that TikTok categorizes each and every one of your pieces of content. Each one of your pieces of content gets sent to and shown to a certain group with a certain interest, a certain topic, a certain idea that you're talking about. And you're able to see this with the search bar on top of everybody's videos if you go to their account or your own account, where you can go ahead and look at your own videos and see what the categorizations are at the top. If it says find related content, that's a bad thing because TikTok has no idea what your video is about. So I'm going to discuss the next things that are going to affect TikTok SEO, the things that you should be working on for 2024 in search engine optimization, because you guys want to be shown to the right audience of people, because those are the people that are going to want to see you over and over again, a lot like the Starbucks analogy that we talked about. So number 8, let's talk about profile optimization. Now you have a few places on your profile where you can optimize your account. The first place is your account name that's actually at the top of your screen. What you're able to do is use keywords here instead of your name or random things. You can use it strategically in order to help TikTok identify what your account is about. So for me, for example, I put TikTok growth up there. But if there's a keyword that you guys can use that TikTok recognizes, go ahead and put that keyword up on the top as your account name. And then if you want to put your name after, you can put that vertical slash and then your name. But you want to make sure to have a keyword there because it's really important for TikTok to identify what your account's about, especially if you're newer on the platform. The second thing that you can do, which is optional, is your TikTok handle. Now I have TikTok Growth Secrets as my handle, so TikTok understands that my account is about TikTok growth. But you don't have to change your handle. If you have a brand or your name, anything like that is fine, so you can go ahead and keep it there. But if you are specifically trying to rank for something, or you have a faceless page or a meme page or something like that, go ahead and use that handle strategically. Then the final place that you can optimize your profile is your actual bio. And you can stuff a couple keywords in there so that TikTok knows exactly what your account's about and who you're trying to be shown to. Now for me, I have a couple things like business and creator and TikTok algorithm in my profile. And I call this TikTok SEO alignment, where your account name, your handle, and your bio all match together. They have similar keywords so that TikTok understands in unison what your account is about. Now, number 9, let's go ahead and get to one of the most popular things that people ask me about, and that's hashtags. Your hashtag strategy matters. Now, one big thing that I'll say about hashtags is that many people use way too many hashtags. A lot of people start to look like spam when they start to use 12, 15, 20, 30 hashtags. And that's an old wise tale that used to work on Instagram in 2014, 15, 16, 17. But you guys need to stop doing it here. Instead, I would like to see you guys use 3 to 5 hashtags at the most on your post. I would like to also see you guys use 1 broad hashtag and then 4 niche specific hashtags. Now, a broad hashtag would be, for example, hashtag fitness, and then 4 other niche specific hashtags would be hashtag bodybuilding, hashtag chest workout, hashtag bench press, hashtag incline press, right? So the big one is fitness, and then the 4 other ones are more specific, right? They're about your chest workouts, and they're more niche related, and they're extremely specific to that video, okay? So that's what I want you guys to focus on with your hashtags. And then number 10, I want to talk about your TikTok descriptions. This is where you would put your hashtags and a description about what your video is about. And you can do this extremely strategically. Now, there are some people that do this thing called keyword stuffing, where they literally grab 20 or 25 keywords and they put them in the description and they call that good. However, I wouldn't be so spammy in terms of just posting all these keywords right next to each other without any context. I do something instead called natural keyword stuffing. And in your description, you can form a couple sentences that use these keywords strategically, right? And so this used to be a thing on Google where people would just put all of these keywords and stuff them at the bottom of their website, and Google eventually caught on and they got smart about it. I think TikTok will eventually get smart about it as well. So I think that as long as you make it sound natural and you use 3 or 4 keywords for which TikTok will know what you're talking about, that's going to be way better for your account and way better for your post in the long run. And number 11, you should be conscious about the things that you say. Now, one of the ways you can be conscious about the things that you say is actually scripting out your videos. If you can fully script out your videos, you obviously know you can put some keywords in there. If you're going to go ahead and use bullet points and just kind of plan your video out and kind of wing it from there, you guys should make sure that you have a couple keywords written off to the side so that you make sure that you don't miss them. Because the things that you say are becoming even more important than ever, because TikTok's algorithm, TikTok's AI is getting way smarter with analyzing the things that you say. And if you've ever seen it in the bottom corner, they now generate the captions for you optionally if you go ahead and click the little button right above your description and your username. Now, number 12 is something that you can do as well with search engine optimization, and that's type words on the screen. Now, similarly to the descriptions where people were keyword stuffing and they were typing a bunch of words that matter, and they were making them really small and swiping them off the screen, I would come from a different approach now here going into 2024. Or I used to say those sort of things where you could type a few keywords and swipe them off the screen, but I would actually do the similar thing with typing a couple keywords, maybe 3 keywords, making them really small and putting them in the corner. But I would just set a duration of like 1 to 2 to 3 seconds at the most and let them disappear for the rest of your video. That seems a little bit more natural to TikTok. Now, lucky number 13 of what you should be conscious about in order to grow on TikTok in 2024 is understanding that ideas matter. Now, a lot of you guys just grab your phone and film the first thing that comes to mind, but there's a vetting process that you guys need to go through with your ideas. And there are a few criteria that you have to meet. And I discussed this more in depth in that masterclass in my description and or my Stan Store, but I'll give you guys a couple criteria that you guys need to make sure that you cover. You guys want to make sure that your ideas invoke some sort of enlightenment or some sort of emotion. And that's actually easier said than done because there are a lot of ideas that actually don't qualify as a good idea because of these things. So make sure that they can't just Google the answer in 5, 10, 15 seconds, and make sure there's some depth and some things that you can unpack. Like I said, more about that in the description. Now, number 14 is test formats. You guys need to test more formats than what you're doing. Some niches like content with talking head videos, some like skits, some videos like podcast style, some videos love the green screen, some videos love extremely fast moving content, B-roll, some like extremely slow, methodical, but it all depends on the niche that you're doing and the audience that you have. So you guys should be testing these formats, testing these editing styles, the way that you shoot, and the keywords that you say. Don't get set on just one format, especially if you're a newer account and you're still trying to find your way. Test, test, test. Now, if you're looking to deep dive more into search engine optimization, some of the things that I talked about, go ahead and check out this video right here.